Fear is a natural response to something dangerous, like spiders, heights, or needles. But a phobia is an irrational and debilitating fear of an object, place, situation, feeling or animal. So, while being scared of deadly spiders makes sense, an arachnophobe like me is terrified by the smallest and most harmless house spiders like these. Oh God, kill them with fire. With that said, people can be terrified by just about anything, from eyes and belly buttons to teeny tiny holes. So, if you're feeling brave, strap in and brace yourself, as we take a look at some of the weirdest phobias that exist. Not normal nomophobia. Have you ever gone out and suddenly realized you've left your phone at home, or even worse, you've lost it? To some, it's just a mild inconvenience, but to sufferers of nomophobia, this can induce a full-blown panic attack. The term is an abbreviation for no mobile phone phobia, which is the weird fear of not having your phone or being able to use it. Even the idea of running out of battery can induce a sense of dread so intense that sufferers will ensure they're near a power source at all times. That certainly sounds extreme, but it's more common than you might think. About 50% of American teens believe they're addicted to their smartphones, and 12% of adults even take them into the shower, and not just for naughty selfie reasons. But what causes people to feel so scared without the beloved smartphones? While there's no specific cause, experts believe it's linked to a fear of isolation. I mean, if your phone serves as the main method of contacting the people you care about, you'd feel horribly lonely without it. They also believe trauma could play a role, like if losing your phone once caused you serious distress, you might excessively worry about it happening again. Either way, the call of this phoneless fear is one I'd rather not pick up. Crazy companiophobia. Buttons on clothes are there to make our lives much easier, but they aren't loved by everyone, or at least not people with companiophobia. The root of this term comes from the word kompono, which is Greek for button. And as you've probably guessed, yes, it's the bizarre fear of buttons. Approximately 75,000 people in the world suffer from the timidity of these toggles, and most have fairly similar reasons why. Some simply despise their texture, whereas others have experienced intense trauma relating to them which has manifested into a phobia. Being so small and grabbable, children sometimes swallow buttons or push them up the nose, causing them a lot of pain along with a scary trip to the hospital. Others find it difficult to get the hang of buttoning up clothing, which can be seriously embarrassing if you're mocked for it. These are just a few examples of how button-based trauma can develop into a phobia, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, companiophobia is responsible for one of the most important technological developments in history. You see, Apple co-founder and CEO Steve Jobs unbelievably admitted to suffering from companiophobia. And it's this fear that helped inspire the creation of the almost buttonless iPhone. We'll never know for sure just how much influence this phobia had on the final design, but it does explain why he only ever wore turtlenecks. But here's the big question. Are you afraid of buttons? No? Well then prove it by hitting those like and subscribe buttons down below. Now, where were we? Long word loathing. Imagine you're in school, and the teacher calls you up to the front of the class to read something. You look at the page, and there's a long, intimidating word staring back at you. You try and break it down, but it's no good. After a while, all the other kids start to laugh, and suddenly you're the butt of a class-wide joke. Sounds pretty daunting, right? Well, it's distressing situations like this that can cause people to develop an irrational fear of saying, or even reading long words. As you can imagine, a fear of long words can be crippling, as it interferes hugely with schoolwork and education. Although the actual name of this phobia makes it even worse, because it's cruelly called hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia, laughs, I think I just strained my tongue. Now, curiously, sesquipedalian, on its own means to have many syllables, so this fear should be called sesquipedaliophobia. But some monster decided to add all those extra syllables onto the beginning. Were they trying to give its sufferers a panic attack? Well, the name itself is purposefully designed to help sufferers overcome their fear. Instead of avoiding all long words, the name of this phobia alone forces sufferers to confront their fear. And gradual exposure to these supersized syllables in a safe setting does help lessen a sufferer's panic. But I still don't know if that's pure genius, or sheer cruelty. Colorful conundrum. Being the lightest hue on the color spectrum, yellow is often associated to bright happy things, like sunshine and springtime. But yellow isn't a happy color for everyone, just ask sufferers of xanthophobia. That's right, these poor people have an unrelenting fear of the color yellow. But that would mean they're scared of everything from school buses and taxis to flowers and bananas. Well, as strange as it sounds, it's not the only color that people are terrified of.